much time do you think you spend grooming yourself every day? You know, brushing your teeth or maybe picking out an outfit. Now, what if I told you that just a fraction of that time spent, you could invest in yourself by practicing good etiquette? Now, when we usually think of etiquette, we think of a black tie affair, we think of something formal, or maybe even a gala. But etiquette is a lot much more than learning which is the right fork to use. I'm Connie Newton, and as I learn a little more about myself as you get older and things start to change in life, I realize that my definition of etiquette and how it's implemented in my life, it was a little different. So there were some things that I decided that I wanted to change as it relates to my social relationships. Most recently, I deleted my Facebook profile. Now, to some of you, it might seem like it's not a big deal. For me, it really was a big deal because I was one of those people who was online almost, it seemed like 24 hours a day. But what I realized is that I was losing out on my social relationships. I just felt like something was missing and there was no connection. I was falling into what I like to call the social media mask, where everything just starts to feel inauthentic. I believe good etiquette is very important to our social well-beings. And I think it needs to be aligned with the influx in the use of digital communications. Now, when we talk about using digital communications, and let's just backtrack, when we talk about etiquette, using good social etiquette techniques, it's very helpful. It can help bring your relationships closer together. It can help forge relationships that you didn't even know were out there. So it's very important to us to maintain and create good relationships and to keep them on track as far as being social with one another and not blocking each other off with all this social media or just sending someone an email when you can quickly just pick up the telephone. And I know it may sound a little trivial sometimes because in certain instances, it is easier. It is quicker to just shoot someone a text message. Or let me just send someone an email. But don't you think it might make that person's day just to hear your voice? What if that person's feeling crummy? I know I want to hear your voice if I'm feeling crummy. Because if I'm feeling crummy and I just look at your text, I still feel crummy. Whether we realize it or not, etiquette is in everything that we do each and every day. Whether it's at work, whether it's at home, in your personal relationship, business relationship, etiquette we cannot escape from. It's here. It's as easy as standing in front of an elevator and you're just standing there. Smile at the person and greet them. It's not going to hurt you. You're actually building relationships right there. And you take those relationships that you just did at that elevator, you take those into your office, and you take those into the boardroom. And you take them wherever you need to take them, but you're going to start to see how important those relationships are and how important it is to maintain those relationships. Now, when we talk about the social aspect of etiquette, let's dig a little deeper into that, and let's talk about how manners play a part in the use of etiquette. These are two important values. Now, I define etiquette as our own personal code of conduct. It's the way in which we behave. And it's what our intentions are behind that behavior. I was reading something, and Emily Post, who's a well-renowned etiquette expert, she defines manners as, and I quote, "Manners are a sensitive awareness of the feelings of others." Now that's deep. But what that says to me is that manners and etiquette, they're married to one another. They both encompass the same pleasure when they're used correctly. So it's important for us to use a lot of these techniques in our everyday. It's important for us to show others that this is what manners and etiquette looks like. It's not just pulling out a chair for someone that you're on a date with. How about greeting the waiter when they come over? Greet them with a smile when they ask you, how's it going and what would you like? You ever been in a restaurant and everyone, it seems like, is on their cell phone? I'm one of those people that say, how rude. I like to greet people with a smile. And I'm not always in a good mood. But I'm not going to let you know that. I want to make you feel comfortable approaching me. And that's what etiquette is about. Making that person feel comfortable. But guess what? The intentions behind how you present yourself and what you're saying, those actions, they have to marry well and they have to match. They must be aligned. There are many similarities between etiquette and manners, in which we discussed. Which leads me to practicing good etiquette skills and making yourself happier. Making yourself happier when you practice those good etiquette skills. Let's say you're in a car and you're in rush hour traffic. And sometimes in those instances, you know that tempers can be tested. Well, it's not a good thing if you decide that you want to yell back at somebody. Show that person the proper way that they should behave on the road. Show them. Doesn't mean that they're going to do it, but don't get yourself worked up following the lead of someone else who's not practicing good etiquette. What if you're in an elevator? And let's say you get a phone call. Are you going to answer that call? I would probably say, you can wait on answering that telephone call unless it's absolutely important. But please, whatever you do not answer that phone call on a speakerphone. When we're in such enclosed spaces, it kind of feels like an invasion of my space or invasion. I feel like I'm invading your privacy. And that's not something that I want to do. But it kind of makes you a little uncomfortable when you are on the phone, it's very loud, or if you're constantly looking down at the phone and you're walking in traffic. How are you going to know if the light turned red or green if you're buried in your telephone? Not to mention it's very dangerous. What I hope you can take away from this video is that try some of these techniques. Use some of these techniques. Create some of your own. Whatever you do, be pleasant. Be pleasant. Smile when you see someone. If you're approaching someone and they're walking up to you on the street, smile and say hello. Greet them. If someone's coming behind you, hold the door for them and say hello. I'm sure they're going to say thank you. And when you say good morning to someone in the morning, don't just say good morning in a gripe way. Good morning. Smile and say good morning. Even if you're not having a good day, sometimes all you need is to practice a little good etiquette, and trust me, it will make you feel a whole lot better. Now, in discussing all of this etiquette, let's be reminded. Let's try something totally new. Let's all practice good etiquette. Now I'm going to leave you with a quote that I found from Clarence Thomas, and I thought it was a pretty good quote. It says, "Good manners will open doors that the best education cannot." That's food for thought. Thank you, everyone.